Welcome to Crom Update number 21, and I am being joined by the David Scanner Molina.
How you doing, Kurt?
Or we should
Good
say,
to be here.
good. David the Scanner Molina.
I like that.
Well,
I like that. It's very post-apocalyptic.
we gotta go off the cuff on some of these things,
Right?
see how they bounce out there. But you made a big step into a bigger world. And
Yeah.
last time we got together, we were dealing with scanning. We did do a successful tile scanning with the little scanner you had.
Yeah.
That thing just had that weird depth to it, so it had like edges, and I'll even throw up a picture of it. I mean, it was obviously
Okay.
that scanner wanted nothing to do with art scanning. It was just obviously for 8.5 by 11 documents. And then I suggested that I've been buying forever these workforce all-in-ones. They're usually about $249. I get them at Best Buy. And they're oversized. So you got a 13 by 19 scanning bed, and you have a 13 by 19 scanning capability. And you went ahead and grabbed one of those, right?
Yeah, I did, and it's awesome. I mean, you can print 11 by 17, scan 11 by 17, edit on the whatever software you have. It's invaluable,
yeah.
man. I can't believe I waited so long to get one of these, but.
Well, one of the I just finished recording with Adam Dodds, and right there at the end we were talking. His scanner is on the fritz, so he's going to have to go out to a buddy of his who actually has a scanning place and have it scanned. And but he had said he had recently just watched the episode, your last episode, and all of our talk about tile scanning and the workplace. And he said it was just really, really great to hear that. And I think that's one
awesome.
one of the issues going on right now in comic books, or let's say comics and YouTube podcasting channels, is everybody's talking about everything other than their true creative process. And the true creative process, I would have to say more than half of it is not knowing and being frustrated.
Yes,
and so
exactly.
The other half, but then the other half of that is going out and trying to find some sort of resolve, not answers. There really aren't any answers. It's just, well, should I do this or should I do that? Should I buy this or should I buy that? And one of the reasons I just promote Amazon and purchasing things on Amazon through their Prime program is there's been a couple of times, and equipment-wise, especially when I was setting up my podcasting equipment, I couldn't make a decision between one or the other microphone or one or the other camera. So I just ended up ordering one. I ordered one. 2 days later, it showed up. I set it up, and I didn't like it. I didn't like the way it looked, the work, blah, 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 blah. And I sent it back. I got the credit, and I applied the credit, and I got the next one. And then that's what I'm using now. So I also want to thank you for putting yourself out there to have these questions and allow me to give my perspective. It's not the answer, because things cost money, and it's not something that all of us or any of us really in the arts can do is just throw a handful of cash at a problem. So you have to be creative. But when it comes to comic books and printing comics, the scanning is really important. So having not only the right way of scanning the work, but then bringing it into a computer and then prepping it for print and putting it together is a whole part of that. But I printed out, because you tile scanned. Because yours is 14 by 17, the art that you have right there, which is why it's so close up to everything. It's huge.
Yeah.
I'm actually working 14 by 17 too for the Crom cover. So everybody gets kind of an idea just how big and fabulous David's work is. But I stitched together your halves, and they were beautiful.
Okay. Nice.
you had because one of the things that could be a little bit of wobbly there,
Yeah.
but you were solid on that, and
Awesome.
here we are. So
No, yeah. No, I got to thank you about, recommending the workforce printer, if I can say. 'Cause, you look at the reviews on Amazon, whatever, but you don't know until
yeah,
you buy it. It might be user
correct.
error, whoever puts like a 1 star on there. But it's working out, great. Thanks.
Good, good, good. Yeah, and it gives some relief from the
Yeah.
anxiousness. So we go from there. But we'll also have to start having a conversation about how to scan into your PC, and then you taking
Okay.
care of some of that and everything. But really, I think what we should be talking about is you are closing in on the end of finishing your pinup. Take me right now. How much more do you feel like you need to do on this piece?
Okay. Let's see. Well, you see this guy up here with the axe. I think he needs
Yeah.
some more shading, maybe at the
Yes.
bottom, his crotch area.
Okay.
And I just I know it needs more. In my mind, it seems like it needs more darks somewhere, but I just don't know where to
Yes.
put them. Maybe over here where these this what do you call it? Greenery is at. Maybe
Yeah.
somewhere over here. I don't want to put dark. Tell me what you think. So this character here, right? He's supposed to be like further away, of course. And
Yeah.
if I'm just wondering if I put darks like under his forearm, on his right side, I'm wondering if that's going to pull him forward. You know what I mean? Or if I can just go
Yes.
ahead and put darks on there. I don't know. The reason why it's so light back there is because of that, because they're further away, right? But
Yeah.
I feel like I need something, but I don't know what.
Yeah. I'll say this. The you're on the verge of going Jeff Darrow on this,
Yeah.
which is a compliment beyond any compliment I think that can be given to somebody in
Yeah.
comics. But I think the other part of it is the frustration to let's just use the word coloring, for instance,
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
because one of the reasons coloring is so garish
Yeah.
in comic books is because in the olden days, and even now, I guess too, some people just want to get through it quickly. In other words, they got to get to press. They just need
Sure.
color in it. They feel that way, and the such. The second reason is a lack of understanding of how to apply color to a composition in order to enhance the composition.
Yeah.
And I think even for some of it, it does help solve some questions. I don't want to call them issues because you don't have any issues here. You just have choices, because
Exactly.
I've been staring at this for the last 2 days, I guess, since I've had it. And
Yeah.
I look at it and I go, ooh, I think he should do this and then that.
Yeah.
And then I get
Well,
up the
shoot,
next
man.
day and I go, oh, I'm gonna give you some stuff. But then
Mm,
then I go, oh, wait a second. And then when you just said what you said about this guy, it gave
yeah.
me another feel for it. Now,
Okay.
before I start giving you suggestions, I
Sure.
did, I believe, like maybe 2 episodes with you ago, I talked about how I take a drawing
Hmm.
and I shade it
Yes.
with graphite, and then I start erasing all the highlights in.
Okay. Yeah.
Um, I am, yeah. So this though, I did a drawing with a piece of graphite stick, and, I laid everything out and drew, and then, shaded in. Then I wiped it down. Then I took my eraser and started erasing in the highlights. Then I just use information from the pencil and the gray lines, and then start applying, some lines, basically outlines, to then start bringing in black, spotting blacks. Yeah. So the thing, you've got a couple of ways of going about this. The first thing, and I'll just throw it out there. I was surprised in not seeing yet is no zipatone, because you were also playing around with zipatone. Now that could also be a cost factor, because some of the suggestions I'm making is you're going to need a 14 by 17 piece of zipatone, maybe to make some of these things happen. But the thing about it you're at right now is you've got to continually spot blacks. And this can be tough because when I say blacks, I also want to just refer to it as dark color. Okay. So in other words, purple or blue, deep blue, or even like a dark green. So with that being said, I am going to play around right here and now with, now your book, everybody's art. I mean, well, all covers are going to be black and white, even mine. So I want everybody to know that what I'm doing here is more of a technical lesson or possible way of applying, because color, when you look at it, needs to be seen as value. It shouldn't be seen as yellow, red, green, and blue. And the reason I say it for this lesson or this technical advance is that, we want to be able to really make something happen value-wise. So like I said, you have black. I don't think you should put any more blacks in here, just so you know. Okay. But great. The next darkest color or next value-wise in these fun here, well, that's not that one. Here we go. Are these two here, which is brown and purple. Okay? So, right here and now, the first thing I would like to do is I want to put in I just want this to be shadowed in this purple, which is obviously not black, and you can even still see the, I'm putting everything. So this is light source. This is a light source that's coming down from above, and anything underneath is going to be in the darkest shadows, other than what we have here. But you can already see how this starts breaking out, especially Crom right here, the figure jumping.
It starts popping out.
Yep. So that is
all righty.
All right. And I'm going to send you a copy of this.
Okay, awesome.
David, okay? So this will help you make whatever decisions you come to on however you want to approach it. I hate using the word lesson, because when we go to school, we unfortunately think, oh, this is the right way of doing it. This is not the right way of doing it. This is my way and approach to doing it. And if you can take something from it and apply it to yourself, then I think you're going to have your own sense of success in it. Yeah. Now I'm just going around and I'm looking for, now I can also, just to keep a character back, now we're still dealing with him. Yeah. I'm just gonna start looking at just some areas where this would be that. And then, well, we got these up here too. Okay. All right. And then, we got these here. So I'm really just chasing your, these lines that you have just parallel,
Yeah.
for shading for that.
Okay.
Now, I'm going to do something. I think, I'm trying to remember. I buy these. No, this is a regular Crayola. There are two. Oh, okay. So there's the Ultra Clean Washable, which is based on a technique I use where I establish some color. Then I can use washes, like water washes and stuff. And then the color will start basically getting pushed around. So it wouldn't be this thing. And that's just my thing. But now, because now I have this lighter purple or violet. Ooh, wow. That just went dark. Why did that go that dark? Anyhow, I'm going to stick with it. Let's see him dark. I was hoping this was going to be a little bit more purple. Now, the thought I was having is that he's inside.
Oh, yes. Okay, yeah.
That space, and so therefore he's going to be in that shadow. So that's that. Now, just to throw another dark color at it, I'm going to throw some browns around just to create some, like, for instance, I want to bring this back up. I think these guys should be too. At least start out and throw some shadows. Like you said, just mark them up. Ooh, yeah. Then I can even get cliche, and the foliage is brown. So go ahead and make these. But I need to just be very conscious of the fact that this is now a darker value. There we go. Oh, there we go. Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty good. So already you can see an extreme amount of variation, right?
Yes,
and these are darker values against all of your white, which is light. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Well, now one of the things I really like about the washables is they have, I think the regulars do it, but they have this gray and this flesh tone. So once again, you can, push that in there. Now I want to bring this in. So another thing you need to be conscious of is this shape of the axe head against this sky. This sky obviously is completely blank, which is fine. But with only that line of the axe edge, it's causing basically a hard focus on this. So just to bring it forward, just throw in, gray. So I'm just going to throw in a little bit of gray and even another value undersiding.
Okay.
There. Now, I love this sword. Most importantly, as like a motif for the, that line that Crom just missed that sword, and he's going directly for this guy's head.
Yeah.
So we've got that, and we could even. Well, no. Let me try something else too. Here's a light green.
Okay.
Yeah, here's a light green, and I'm going to play just that. Now this is lighter, but it's just, just trying to get another value in here.
Yeah, I can already see it would look way better with more value on it, because it does look washed out when you look at it from afar.
The readability, Jeff Darrow is on Cartoons Kayfabe a lot, as
Yeah.
And there's the there was just a recent talk with David Cho and him and Ed Piskor, and the topic came up of who colors his work, and he doesn't have time to color, so
Yeah, I can
he does
imagine.
pay somebody else to do the coloring. But they got into, I can't remember exactly some of the things, but the question did come in at that level of it you're there's such an immense amount of detail. Obviously we don't want to lose any of that. Color can get garish, really turn people off,
Yeah.
and you can lose things. So there's, once again, it has to be about the values and understanding. If you're going to apply a green, let's apply something now lighter. And then I know, just check, there's this light blue, just to have a, let's see, what's this one? Blue Lagoon. Yeah, it's awesome. All right. So then this is where I want to just use it as a value. And this is, I don't want to do blue sky, because obviously that's the most cliche. So I'm actually going to just put the buildings in just to separate the figures, just to see what that does.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do this here. Now, I don't know if you're thinking this as I'm doing it, but this would also be another way of looking at, you could assign each of these colors, David, to a zip tone gray value.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
I know it. Good. That's, oh man, I led you into that zone. Good. Because, like I said, this is not a color coding map. This is just a color coding gray's value that would then zone to a zipatone, right? Because I love this kind of stuff. This is what I love doing as an artist. I love playing around with mediums, but always bringing them back to basics in this issue. We've got to figure out how to make this happen, to make things pop out. And we're not going full color, so it's got to be gray values. And then so assigning, because the thing that has me so excited right now is, you get to go and find, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 sheets of zipatone that you're going to say, this zipatone sheet is purple, this zipatone sheet's brown, this zipatone sheet's green, this, and you can put it in there. Then when they're in there, you're going to have this feeling of getting resolved that way. The biggest thing I would still say, now let me just I just want to throw this in here. It's probably a little too dark, but I just want to see, because I constantly want to make, obviously Crom is the most important. So I just want to see how I can keep popping him forward. That seems to work. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe even throw some down here.
Yeah, I have 2 sets of the zips, 4 shades each. Just was one that's really light, right? But I think I can make it work with just those 4. I know that they have some with like different patterns on it, but I don't have any of those.
Okay. But what I'll do is I stitch together, your file, so I'll send it. Did I send it back to you?
No, you sent back
Okay.
the other ones. Yeah.
Yeah. Let me do that, and I'm gonna do send back stitched plus your an 8.5 by 11 version, and you
Okay.
can print these out. Now
Yeah.
I know you have some children's art supplies lying around, David.
Oh yeah.
So you're gonna have to dip into the kids' stuff if you have to.
Okay.
And if I have always loved Crayola markers, the
Yeah.
washable and the regular. Number one reason, they are cheap. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I mean, you can buy them bulk at less than $1 a pop.
Oh yeah. Yep.
But to just have, this is one of the blessings of having the scanner. You could do three of these kinds of versions and say,
Yeah.
oh, I really like the purple in this one. But I like this value in the back of the bill. Oh, but added this one, and then and now you have without messing up the original, which is the brain saying, don't do it, you're gonna mess it up. And then when you go to do it, you're constantly saying, is it messed up, and then you've stressed yourself out, you've pushed yourself into a place, and then you ultimately end up disappointed.
Messing it up.
But professionally speaking, this is a super great, I think even easy and fun way of just getting it out, just see some things going on. Go ahead.
Yeah, what I do have is I also have like the Copic and I have some off-brand alcohol markers, which they're all gray tones. So I can go
that'd
ahead
be fun
and
too.
start. I have a question though, okay, so if I print this smaller, right? Let's say a letter size or whatever. And I do my zipatone on there, and I do my what do you call it? Just the values on it. And then if I send it back to you, it's going to lose some quality to it rather than doing it on the big paper, isn't it?
So the zipatones are going to go, whatever decisions you make on this assignment to a zipatone screen, you are going to do on the larger official version, the final version. This is only Playland stuff. So the 8.5 by 11 size is just to conceptualize and think out loud. Whatever you like and want to take the chance, you're still going to have to transfer it over to your large original.
Got it. All right.
Yep. That's why I was also concerned in approaching the question of whether you're going to go zipatone, because my joke was, you're going to need a 14 by 17 piece, and that's expensive. But now you don't because all you need is just this and this. I think these are probably just the bigger pieces that you're going to need on there. Everything else is going to be
I have enough, actually. I have more than enough.
Okay, good. But just to give yourself, having the gray value markers are all. I have a set of those Prismacolors around here somewhere. Those are always great to get into and use. But it's just exercising thoughts to see them on paper. That's what we do as artists.
Exactly. Yeah. Have you seen these at all at Walmart? I get these at Walmart for pretty cheap.
I bet. Look great.
Gray Valleys.
There's one of the things that brings an immense amount of joy is when I do walk through like a Kmart, Target, Walmart. They usually have more art supplies than a Michaels does.
Yeah.
And when I say that, I'm saying that on a cheap side of things.
Exactly.
I am not making this up, but Frank Frazetta's paintings were oil-based kits. How to kids basic kits.
Oh, wow.
He would buy at a hardware store.
Yeah. Jesus.
He didn't use no $26 tube of alizarin crimson. He didn't buy the highest quality titanium. Man, he was using truck stop art supplies.
Dang.
And if anybody wants to say they can't make art because they can't afford the art supplies, you're crazy. And also, too, you're crazy if you're going to get into art via technology. In other words, $800 iPad to start drawing without having the ability to be able to do this.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
you can. I have run hundreds of workshops and art camps in my time, and I have always been able to cost. And this is like in the 90s, early 2000s. I've always been able to cost my time to teach the class and the art supplies at $25.
Dang, nice.
So, and the worst case, and this is not just for kids, this is for adults too.
Yeah, yeah.
When they leave, they've got all, and I always say this, the last thing I say, you've got the supplies now. You just got to make the time and hammer stuff out.
Yeah.
And forget about good and bad. Works doesn't work. Just get it done. Just do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. And I mean, I think you also use these felt pens, right?
Love them.
I get
that's my go-to.
Yeah, I get these at Walmart too. I was surprised they had them.
They're everywhere now. You can get the hard and the soft tips.
Yeah, exactly.
For,
2 packs.
For like a couple bucks. Yeah. So there is no way anybody can complain or give the excuse that they can't start making art. Capital A, capital R, capital T. Yeah. Come on. You just have to go anywhere.
I even buy Sharpies and use those because I just love the darks that it gives you. I know that, there might be some issues with, it's not archival ink or whatever. But I love those.
Let the art historians deal with that. I could sit here for the next hour and list paintings that are falling off the canvas now because they were using subpar the number one piece of art that was done incorrectly with supplies was Leonardo da Vinci's The Last Supper. Mm-hmm. He did a fresco style painting with oil paints that had just been.
Oh wow!
And it's down to like 30 or 40% of it is still there, the original.
Yeah.
And the rest of it is restoration.
Do you think that was like a new thing, the oil paints? That's why he used them on, right?
It was, tech. Yeah. He was trying to figure it out, and he got work, and so he put the two together. He didn't give anybody.
Exactly.
My biggest thing about Leonardo da Vinci, and this is who did The Last Supper. If I said Michelangelo, but Leonardo da Vinci was a hack, and the reason I say he was a hack is he was way more interested in figuring things out than he was making anything. But he needed to make a living.
Yeah, exactly.
And he just ended up being really good at it. His biggest thing he wanted to figure out was the human body. Yeah. And so he did all those illegal cadaver things and everything. Yeah. Oh man, come on. But don't let that stop anybody from getting out there and making. Yeah. One of my favorite go ahead. Go for it.
I was going to say also Rockwell, isn't his paintings like deteriorating, like the canvases he used? I think I forgot what he used, but it's
some of those probably because he was in debt. He was in debt all his entire life. He was in debt. Wow. He never had more money than anything other than to keep his head down and brush moving. Yeah. He just hadn't. Yeah. I don't. Yeah. That's one of those tough things when it comes to not being very business savvy as an artist. But what we're talking about is making. Creating is, maybe a little loftier, but making. Just, that's all. Just have a good time. Just make up stuff and put it down on paper. And we'll publish it in a comic book. You know?
You know what?
Let's keep it simple.
Check this out. Let me get it. Okay. I got, I don't know how many of these. I went through a whole ream of this big paper. Okay,
Yeah.
this is one of other iteration this is the first one, right? But
Right.
then
Right.
I found some, muscular deficiencies, so I had to, redraw it, and so I came up with this one, and then there was still some stuff that I didn't like, and then halfway I switched to dip pen, and I'm not proficient with dip pen. That was a mistake of mine. And I just kept screwing up. Excuse me. I just kept screwing up. So I said, screw it. I'm just going to use the felt pens, and this is what came out. But I don't know if I'll work on this big size paper in the future, because it was tough.
What do
It
you
was
mean? What do you
pretty
mean?
tough.
What do you mean?
Like having
Messing it up?
having to redraw it over and over, because that's what I had to do to
Ah,
get to this
okay,
point,
okay.
right? So if I
Yeah.
had a smaller paper that I was working off of, then it would be better, like faster. But it was kind of
Yeah. David, one of the things, there's a lot of things that I'm just tired of our society or the social structuring
yeah,
of right and wrong and making good and bad and everything art. Like I personally, because a lot of what you're saying is not you. It's
yeah,
just it's a social construct that you're doing what all of us do, which is you sit in a room by yourself for a period of time and you make stuff. Now you have two hemispheres of your brain. You have the right
yeah,
side of the brain that just wants to make fun, cool, fantastic stuff and entertain
yeah,
you. But then you
yeah,
have this left-sided brain, which has logically been compacted with BS from society.
yeah,
Like, oh, is that correct? Oh, will this sell? Oh, nobody buys that stuff. Oh,
mhm,
and then when that left side starts taking over the right side, then yes, you're going to make sucky stuff. Because now what you've done is you inhibited yourself the freedom of just making it. If
yeah,
making the amazing drawing that you've made, which is borderline creeping into like Jeff Darrow world
yeah.
and style, and you had to do it two more times. If Jeff Darrow was here right now, he'd be laughing, not at you. He would just be like, he'd be like, I've done that sometimes 6 or 7 times.
Yeah. Okay.
But
Yeah.
even take it one step further or back, we were just talking about archiving and art historian ish. When this drawing and the being on the Crom Revised with Kurt Brugel's comic book here, 10 maybe 20 years from now,
Yeah.
and this is so famous, and there's two other versions of incomplete. That's what the art historians love. That's what they
Yeah.
want. They want to see your process. They want to be able to explain it, especially if you're no longer here. But you're not going to be no longer here in 10 to 20 years. But
Right.
the whole idea that we need to perfect something in
Yeah.
order for it to be correct. Stop. Just start working more right-sided. Just
Yeah.
stay more
Okay.
right-sided and keep going.
Yeah.
And because you and I have made this connection, and I just once again have to thank you for taking my
Yeah.
request and joining in the guest artists um, uh, gallery of artists that I've invited on. This
Yeah.
is just the beginning of you and I playing around with comic books, and that's how I
I see.
really always want to keep it, because I really
Yeah.
want to support. I want to support individuals like yourself, but from the level of like encouragement and promotion. I don't want
I
to be your
see.
publisher. I don't want to tell you
Yeah.
what's right and wrong. I'm not gonna
Mm.
I'm not gonna do any of that. I will say at this point, and was prepared because I have my notes back here.
Yeah.
Um, you're gonna have to do this value thing.
Yeah.
You knew that. You just needed me to come in and verify that. And
Yeah.
that
Yeah. Exactly.
I'm totally cool with that. I'm totally
Yeah.
cool with that. But
Awesome.
now it's going to be completely up to you. Because in all sincerity, I don't know how you mess this up,
Yeah.
especially when you add the zips to it. And you've already
Right.
shown us how well you do with the zips. So I don't see you, messing anything up.
Cool.
So,
awesome. Thank you. Yeah.
Other than that, do you have any other questions for me?
Let's see. No, man, I think that encompasses all my questions, because that's what I was thinking about. Like, it needs something. I just don't know what, and I'm glad
And
you
that's
were
fair.
prepared. I'm glad you were prepared.
Yep.
And so I think now it's really gonna pop with the zips.
Yeah, it is. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And then, I've given everybody till the 25th of March,
Okay.
To turn it in. But, where you're at right now, I know you're closing in on the finish. So whatever time you need, like, let's say for next week, then I do not want you to feel like you only have 2 days to make these things happen.
Yeah.
Because I know you have a lot going on in your world, and let's just keep it all on the low stress to no stress.
Cool.
But we will keep in touch for, I'll probably even pop in with an email to you by the end of the week just to get an idea, because I have finished the sacrifice is the fourth out of the 4 stories that needed to get this value drawing painty type of thing that I'm doing. So with that being, thank you. Being said, I've now crossed the line where I'm feeling confident enough that I can start creating some timelines and
nice.
Putting this book together. I still have some illustrations to do for Crom and the Warlock of Shardor, which is a story, a written story, which will have illustrations applied to it.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm going to do the whole story or, let's say, half of it. I still have to make those decisions. But for the most part, once I start having everything around me and within reach when it comes to the pages, I can start laying out. Now, each guest artist is going to get a promotional page. So you're going to have a page where you can promote who you are, where people can find you, what you do, and there'll be a QR code that'll lead to website or YouTube channel or Instagram, just where you feel most comfortable to be able to get people's questions or commission or so on for that and everything. So where we're at right now, I'm feeling super good. So even by the end of this time next week, I should be even further along, obviously. But I'm going to put in my head that by the middle of April, I will be reaching out to everybody to give them a lot more of a confirmation of timing. Because the biggest thing that I'm facing we're all facing, is that the print-on-demand company I use, they don't have a set turnaround time. So sometimes I can get things printed and out within like 5 days, and even sometimes in people's hands within a week. But sometimes it could be 2 weeks or more. So that's half a month or more. So at this point, I'm pushing the release date to the 1st of June. So May was what I was thinking, but going from there. But other than you getting your cover completed, I am also keeping everybody in the loop that I have, based on the success of the Crom Revised Edition, going to be moving then to a Crom anthology, where I'll still be working on Crom material, and then I'll be bringing work in to support the anthology, Crom anthology, with sword and sorcery, post-apocalyptic,
hell yeah,
really good. So you're obviously aware of this because we have been talking about this, but you're also one of the people that I'm looking forward to getting, your material in there and everything. So
nice.
This is not coming to an end, our relationship. in the most
Okay.
longest way I could say
Good.
it, is that, we will also be continuing our conversation in, continuing this Crom Updates, because that's, I think, one of the big things that people, when they end up stumbling across something like this, will go, ooh, I want to get involved, whether it's just buying our work or, being a part of the stable of creatives, or however it goes from there.
Cool.
So,
cool.
and as I said, awesome. I just want to thank you for, getting on board and being moments away from completing a Crom pinup masterpiece. And then I have made the decision that the final book is going to be all black and white and 8.5 by 11 magazine size.
Ooh,
and size
nice.
So size even is not going to be an issue, because if you're going to be good, but some people are kind of working on like 11 by 17 comic book format, but it just means that they're going to end up having like a spine part that'll run over to the back, something coming over. So everything's gonna work out, because I want there also to be an inch and a half an inch more on top of those pages, like, instead of a 7 by 10 comic, I want it to be obviously up to 11, and the gutters, I want to give some air so we don't have this tight gutter from there. And
that's
stuff. So those
nice.
that's where I'm at in my thoughts and everything. But do you have anything else for me, David, before we let these people get back to comics?
That's it. Thank you, Kurt.
Awesome. You're welcome. And I look forward to seeing the finale.
Yes, sir.
All right. Take care.
All right, you too.